The Menendez brothers are American brothers convicted of killing their parents, José and Mary Louise Kitty Menendez, at their Beverly Hills home in 1989. These look like some upstanding gentlemen. Yo, he looks like Marty Schwartz from GuitarJams.com. Yo, those poor parents, dude. You see that coming to you right before you're gone? This guy, too, he kind of looks like Freddy Krueger. So this is the mugshot of Lyle, Mr. Baldy, and Eric. Jordan Belfort looking ass. Lyle and Eric in Beverly Hills. Yo, the Beverly Hills buffoons. So following the murders, Lyle and Eric claimed that unknown intruders were responsible for the murders. Yeah, what murder? Yep. Framing it as the potential mob killing. Oh my god, they got mob ties like that? Police initially investigated this claim, but grew suspicious due to the brothers' spending and their hiring of a computer expert to delete their father's recently updated will. This is all very convenient. Eric confessed to the murders in sessions with his psychologist, citing a desire to be free of a controlling father with high standards, which led them to the arrests months later. Dude, there's Knives Out. This is the second one we've seen where it's kind of like Knives Out, although we'll see how they murdered the parents, but that last one we watched of Joel Guy Jr., oh man. Put their heads in cooking pots. I don't think it gets much more gruesome than that, dude. For real. Lyle and Eric were charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder with special circumstances for lying, making them eligible for the death penalty. Well, we don't want that, huh? And charges of conspiracy to murder. During their first trial, the defense argued that the brothers killed their parents in self-defense after years of alleged sexual, emotional, and physical abuse. The prosecution argued that the murder was premeditated, that allegations of sexual abuse were fabricated, and that the brothers were motivated by hatred and a desire to receive their family's multi-million-dollar estate after being disinherited from his will. That'll do it. The juries were unable to reach a verdict, resulting in mistrials for both brothers. In a second trial, they were convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life imprisonment without a possibility of parole. Oh my god, dude. Yo, they got caught. That's so crazy, though. Like, the dad's giving them this bougie-ass lifestyle. I wonder how controlling he was, or if they're just kind of being drama queens. Oh, man. Because the only thing I know about this whole situation is that just semi-recently, within the last handful of years, they made the Netflix show documentary thing, whatever that is. So that's about all I know. They were 2 brothers, whacked the parents. That's it. Beginning in 1998, the brothers began numerous successive legal appeals of their convictions, which were reviewed and rejected by judges. In October 2024, Los Angeles District Attorney George Gascon recommended a resentencing after reviewing a habeas corpus petition. You gotta watch out for that habeas corpus, bro. After Gascon's loss in November of 2024 election, newly elected District Attorney Nathan Hochman opposed the habeas corpus. It's like the fucking Sorcerer's Stone, bro. Calling the brothers' self-defense claims lies. In May 2025, a judge resentenced the brothers to 50 years to life, making them eligible for parole. Oh my god, dude, that's crazy. A judge resentenced the brothers to 50 years to life. The highly publicized trials received international media attention, aspiring numerous documentaries, dramatizations, books, and parodies. Oh, you could bet your ass there will be parodies when you got these 2 stone cold killers and then Nike. Yo, back then they were stone cold killers. Okay, I'll give it to them. Like, they got the haircut, they got the Nike runner. That's pretty tough, dude. What does that say? 4 keys to success. What does it say? Smart hard? What? But he crossed out the word rest and then wrote sex on it. Whoa. These are the 2 guys that took down Zuckerberg. Rest in peace, Zuckerberg. I swear, if anyone's a lizard person, it's him. Whoa, look at these guys. He's so deep in thought. Yo. Oh my god, not the sweater vest over the casual. Oh my god. Oh, he did it too. That salmon color is such a rich white guy color. Reminds me of like but the brand is not called Martha's Vineyard. Vineyard Vines reminds me of that shit. Oh yeah, he's telling him a deep secret. See, what's going on? Here he looks like a stud with that haircut. José Enrique Menendez was born on May 6, 1944 in Havana, Cuba. At age 16, due to the Cuban Revolution, he moved to the United States. Jose attended Southern Illinois University, where he met Mary Louise Kitty Anderson. They always throw the Kitty in there like 70s show. They were married in 1963 and moved to New York City, where Jose earned an accounting degree from Queens College. All right, my man, stepping up. Escaped Cuba, start building that life in Beverly Hills. The couple's first son, Joseph Lyle, who goes by his middle name, was born on January 10th, 1968 in New York. Kitty quit her teaching job after Lyle was born, and the family moved to New Jersey, where Eric Galen was born on November 27th, 1970. Jose became an executive at Hertz Corporation and later RCA Records. After he was appointed as the CEO of Live Entertainment, the family moved to Calabasas, California, where Eric attended Calabasas High School. All right, now again, it's the Cali dream. Yo, why is it that, yet again, the West Coast and the Northwest and all these are a commonality, like California, Washington? There's some lady who wrote a book and shit trying to investigate it, and she was trying to connect, like, different areas and lead poisoning within something, the air or some shit. I didn't look into it that much, but in 1988, Lyle and Eric committed multiple burglaries in their neighborhood, stealing more than $100K in cash and jewelry, prompting Jose to move to Beverly Hills. The following year, Eric attended Beverly Hills High School, where he earned average grades but displayed a talent for tennis, ranking 44th in the U.S. as a junior. I assume that's good. I don't know, when you just hit like 44th place, that doesn't sound like too good, but I don't know, maybe the division in the U.S. as a junior, I have no clue. About 2 weeks before the murders, Eric and his friend Michael Joyce entered the 1989 Boys Junior National Tennis Championship. Lyle attended Princeton University, where he was placed on academic probation for poor grades and eventually suspended for plagiarism. That'll do it. He lived in the Goss Hall dormitory, where he threw out his roommates' belongings as he did not wish to share a room, left sinks overflowing causing damage, and repainted his room in violation of university rules. Imagine being a rich kid. In high school, Eric co-wrote an amateur screenplay titled Friends with his classmate, telling the story of a wealthy young man who committed the perfect murder by killing his parents for their inheritance. Okay. Yep, here we go. Yo, now we're cooking, Jesse. Mr. White. Hey, yo, Mr. White. This is it, dude. This is fucking crazy. Dude, these are just like the main ones. We have to do some like offshoot ones, because the ones I had actually never heard of before were the ones we did on the Toolbox Killers and the Night Stalker. I don't know, like I know Manson, but even if whatever we read on Manson, there's like really, really in-depth books that you should read on Manson if you want to know the whole thing, so I know what's going on here.
When your dad sat down with you, would he then focus his attention on you?
Yes.
Would he ask you about your day?
Yes.
And was that standard? He said he would always ask you about your day?
Yes.
Can you show me now how that conversation would go?
He's gonna reenact how the dad talked?
I would say I went great, and I did real good today. And he would say, that's not what I heard. I would say, no, Dad, I did real well.
No, dude.
And he would say, well, take me through the day.
What? Dude, every time I watch or start reading about these things, this is all I think about.
Joe, just yell out, this isn't real life.
This isn't real life.
When he goes, this isn't real life, this is just, that's what goes through my mind when I read these, because there's just no way. I mean, there is a way we're reading about it, but it's like, how is this world so crazy? On August 18th, 1989, Lyle and Eric went to several gun stores in Southern California to buy handguns. However, due to issues with Lyle's California driver's license and a 2-week waiting period mandated by gun laws, the brothers decided to purchase shotguns instead. They acquired Mosenberg 12-gauge shotguns along with boxes of birdshot and buckshot ammunition in a Big 5 sporting goods store in San Diego, California, where Eric used a stolen driver's license from Lyle's friend, Donovan Goodray. That is a fantastic name. On the evening of August 20th, 1989, Jose and Kitty were watching The Spy Who Loved Me in the theater den of their Beverly Hills mansion, when Lyle and Eric entered carrying loaded shotguns. Jose was shot 6 times, including a fatal shot to the back of his head. Kitty was shot 10 times before the fatal shot to her cheek. She was on the floor crawling away. Lyle ran to the car where Eric handed him ammunition to reload before firing the fatal shot to her face. Dude, what the hell, bro? Immediately after the killings, both brothers remained in the house for a few minutes, expecting the police to respond due to the gunshot noise. They left to dispose of their blood-stained clothes and later buried the shotgun somewhere along Mulholland Drive. They also went to a movie theater and attempted to purchase tickets for the film Batman to use as their alibi, but abandoned the plan due to the timestamp on the ticket stub. Dude, these goofballs, bro. Not to Batman. They then headed to the Taste of LA festival at the Santa Monica Civic Auditorium. They're gonna go party, bro. They need an alibi. You might want to have that set in stone before you do something stupid. After returning home and finding no police presence, Lyle called 911 and emotionally told the operator, "Someone killed my parents." They threw that all out the window. They're like, "We're gonna have to do it ourselves." Saying that he had just come home and discovered their bodies. Eric was heard screaming and crying in the background. He's faking it. Ah, ah. When the officers arrived, Lyle and Eric ran from the home toward the officers while screaming. When the police arrived, they did not seek gunshot residue tests from the brothers, which would have indicated whether they had recently discharged a firearm. Lyle and Eric both falsely told officers that they were elsewhere at the time of the killings. Lyle told officers he thought the killings might be business related, implying a mafia hit. You better have a good alibi for that then. When you claim the mob's coming at you, he kind of threw his parents under the bus then with that, alluding they got mob ties. That ain't too bright. Well, I guess they're dead. What does he care? Police officers and forensic staff who worked on the crime scene described it as the most brutal one they had ever encountered, noting the blood and brain matter splattered throughout the room. That's what they're thinking. Retired police detective Dan Stewart stated, "I've seen a lot of homicides, but nothing quite that brutal. Blood, flesh, skulls. It would be hard to describe, especially Jose. As resembling a human that you would recognize." Wow, he's saying he pulverized them. Jeffrey Dahmer crushing their bones into dust. Gone. According to the autopsy report, one blast caused explosive decapitation and evisceration of the brain and deformity of the face to Jose, while the first round of shots struck Kitty in her chest, right arm, left hip, and left leg, with the contact shot causing multiple lacerations to the brain. Oh man. Oh, this is their tombstone. That's so sad. Kitty and Jose shared gravestone at Princeton Cemetery in New Jersey. Damn. They were gonna inherit a multi-million-dollar mansion type wealth. You gotta have a nicer headstone than that, but I guess once they're out of the picture, the brothers are gonna pick whatever kind of headstone. If they're rolling in that scrub daddy money, that's a good amount of money. What's gonna be the reason these guys get caught? What do I think? I think their alibi just isn't gonna hold up, but what's gonna be the definitive evidence they get? DNA? That's like it. That's not gonna be that hard to find gun records of them buying shit. They're eventually gonna look when the brothers are the last two options. Just saying you were a Batman, I don't know. Unless you got Saul Goodman on the team. Detectives initially investigated Lyle, suggesting that the murders were a result of mob-related activity due to its heinous and Jose's business connections. Wait, what? Oh, to its heinous? In the months after the killings, the brothers spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on luxury items, businesses, and travel. You guys want to not get caught? Mr. Richie Rich. Lyle bought Chuck's Spring Street Cafe, a Buffalo Wing restaurant in Princeton, New Jersey, as well as 3 Rolex watches and a Porsche Carrera sports car. The dad had that type of wealth. Eric hired a full-time tennis coach and competed in a series of tournaments overseas. They got away with this, so long enough that he's going on tennis tournaments? How long did they get away with it? The brothers eventually left the Beverly Hills mansions unoccupied, choosing to live in the adjoining condominiums near Marina del Rey. They also dined at high-end restaurants and took overseas trips to the Caribbean and London. Their courtside attendance at a New York Knicks basketball game was captured in a background of a Mark Jackson trading card. Wow. During this time, they spent approximately $700,000. Most of this money came from a $650,000 personal life insurance policy, which was paid out, although a larger insurance policy for $15 million with live entertainment as beneficiaries not the Menendez brothers. This spending caused police to begin to consider the brothers as suspects, with a possible financial motive. Family members disputed a connection between their spending and the murder of their parents, asserting that there were no charges in their spending habit after the killings. It's a load of barnacles. Eric's high school friend Craig Signorelli, what a name, reported to the police that Eric had confessed to him. He also revealed that he and Eric had previously written a 66-page screenplay titled Friends, which depicted a son killing his wealthy parents for their inheritance. What a rhyme. Wow. The friend is, oh my God, he turned him in. Craig Signorelli, shout out that guy. Running up to the police. Yo, this guy, yeah, I just wrote this exact story with his ass. We were going to sell it to Blumhouse. And now, yo, they got the feds on him now. How about that one? All for $650,000 too. $650. Oh, I guess back then, definitely was worth more. In an attempt to get a confession, police arranged for Signorelli to wear a wire during a lunch with Eric. When Signorelli asked Eric whether he had killed his parents, Eric denied it. He denied it. Yo, he knows you're wearing a wire, Fed. He knows. Police also heard from Lyle's girlfriend, Glenn Stevens, that 1 week after the killings, Lyle had made a sudden trip back home from Princeton to destroy something in the family computer. Stevens said that Lyle told him, "A family member found a new will, and I went there and erased it." A computer expert hired by Lyle also said he was hired to ensure deletion of a new will Jose had prepared, which may have left less to his sons. So they're going Sly Cooper mode, pulling off the heist. Eric eventually confessed to his psychologist, Jerome Oziel, who then told his mistress, Judalyn Smith. Oziel began recording the sessions with Lyle and Eric. After breaking up with Oziel, Smith informed the police about the brothers' involvement in the murders. Lyle was arrested on March 8, 1990, outside their Beverly Hills home, while Eric turned himself in 3 days later after returning to Los Angeles from Israel. Both were held without bail and jailed separately at the Los Angeles County Jail. In August 1990, Judge James Albrach ruled that tapes on the conversations between Eric and his psychologist Jerome Oziel were admissible evidence, since Oziel claimed that Lyle threatened him and violated occupation privilege. Albrach's ruling was appealed, after which the proceedings were delayed for 2 years. The Supreme Court of California ruled in August 1992 that most of the tapes were admissible, with the exception of the tape on which Eric discussed the murders. After that decision, the Los Angeles County Grand Jury issued indictments in December 1992, charging the brothers with the murders of their parents. The special circumstances that the killings were committed for financial gain was deemed unsupported by evidence and was subsequently excluded from the charges. It was a long sentence. They were charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder with special circumstances for lying in wait, which made them eligible for the death penalty. Represented by lead defense, the first trial. Dude, we haven't even gone to the trial yet. This might have to be another part 1 video. These things are full. No wonder why they get Netflix documentaries. The stories are crazy. We will eventually dive into the Manson stuff, but like I said, there is a book. There's a couple of books, I think. I forget the names, but they're like, they give you everything you need to know. Guys, if you've been enjoying any of the true crime videos, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, notifications, drop a comment of other cases, or if you want the next part to this, we could check out some of the trial footage. Be sure to let me know.